Hello, I'm David DeCosmo for Electric City Television, and this is People, Places, and Things. Today we visit the Antique Auto Museum at Hershey, Pennsylvania. Stepping inside this museum is like stepping back in time. You'll find an extensive selection of vintage cars and exhibits that change from time to time, so it's always a little bit different every time you visit. The museum is an affiliate of the Smithsonian, and it's open daily from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. It's located not far off the Hershey exit of Interstate Route 81. It offers both self-guided tours and guided tours for larger groups. There are also special educational tours for pre-K to 12th grade students, and those include hands-on activities. When we happened by the museum, it was featuring an exhibit of Studebaker cars and trucks. The Studebaker Brothers Company was formed in 1868, originally to manufacture horse-drawn wagons and buggies. The company came out with automobiles in 1902, and that line featured electric cars. The gas model showed up in 1904. The Studebaker vehicles on display at the Hershey Auto Museum show just how diverse the company was during its existence. You'll find cars from the beginning of the Studebaker Company, right on up until the last ones that were ever manufactured there. Some of the styles look a lot like other vehicles of the same vintage, and yet there are many that are extremely unique as the brand continued to change in its style along with what it offered. One car gives us a local connection. It's this 1924 Studebaker taxi cab. It's owned by former Hazleton resident Bob Biscombe, who now lives in upstate New York. It's one of two Studebakers he owns. Bob is pictured here on the left speaking with Stan Sipko, who has his 1953 Studebaker on display. As it happens, Stan is curator of the Hershey Auto Museum. While the Studebaker Company evolved over the years, there was one constant problem, and it had to do with finances. Eventually, the company merged with the Packard Motor Car Company. That was in 1954. But unfortunately for both, the merger didn't work out. Studebaker returned to its own brand name in 1962. By the way, cars aren't the only thing on exhibit. Look at this old vintage gas station. And wouldn't we love to buy gas at these prices? About 20 cents per gallon. Here's another Studebaker vehicle you may not be familiar with, an amphibious vehicle made for the U.S. Army. In later years, the company also made a series of Hawk automobiles. And in 1966, Studebaker came out with a concept car, the Scepter. It was built in Italy, but it was a concept car. None were actually manufactured for sale. While most people know Studebaker for its more common economical brands and designs, just before the company finally folded, it made a very unique car called the Advante with a fiberglass body. The last Studebaker and Advante rolled off the assembly line in Ontario, Canada in December of 1966. Some very unique automobiles at the Hershey Auto Museum include the Tucker, with its very special 3-headlight design. The Tucker was developed by Preston Tucker in 1948. The car had a rear engine and a number of other advanced features, but only 50 cars were ever made before the company folded in 1949. There was always speculation that the big three automakers had a role in forcing Tucker out of business. One of the 50 original Tuckers, which originally sold for about $4,000, was featured on an NBC television show back in 2011. At that time, it had an estimated value of $1,200,000. Now, another car that you might be more familiar with is the DeLorean. A lot of people know it from the movie trilogy Back to the Future. The DeLorean was developed by John DeLorean in 1975. It featured a stainless steel body and gull wing doors. But like the Tucker, the DeLorean had a short lifespan. The DeLorean company ended in receivership in 1982. Some cars you'll recognize easily, others you won't, but you'll find some of each at the Hershey Auto Museum. And as I said, not only car displays. The museum features an extensive collection of antique motorcycles, everything from the original motorcycles to the low-powered runabouts in the 60s and the 70s, and of course the higher-powered Harleys and Indians and other brands that may not have such widespread names. Buses as well, and some may remember seeing this in parades in our area. It's the March Lines bus, which did in fact serve the Wilkes-Barre area at one time. Another major area bus company, Barron's, also serving the Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, and Bloomsburg areas during the 40s and the 50s. The Barron's Company has 2 buses on display at the Hershey Auto Museum. And as far as unique vehicles go, it's hard to beat the Hershey Kissmobile, which happened to be gracing the entrance to the museum during our visit. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our visit to the Pennsylvania Auto Museum at Hershey, Pennsylvania. I'm David E. Cosmo for People, Places, and Things. We'll see you next time.